Alright, hello. Hello, I'm here. I'm gonna play some Pathfinder. Tonight, I was going to do some music stuff since it's my birthday, but all of the audio equipment that I use kept glitching out and not wanting to load. So, fuck it. Clearly it's a fucking sign that I should never have a good birthday. So I'm just going to do something else to get my mind off of it. And might as well it be this, I guess. If we can switch modes. Oh, okay. A lot of things have been freezing on me today. I don't know what the hell's going on. But this seems to be functioning right now. For now, I should say. Are you frozen? Oh, getting a spinning wheel. Might have to reboot it. Oh, no, there it goes. Okay, never mind. Just gonna leave it alone. It's actually taking a lot longer to load for some reason. Oh well. I'll just reboot the computer after. I don't want to waste the day doing absolutely fucking nothing. So. I'll just let it be. Alright. 22 days left to turn it in and go with the next part of the chapter, or next chapter, or whatever the hell it is. But I think right now I want to explore just a touch more. I just don't know what else to check out. Most of the stuff I've already visited, which didn't really give me much. I have been there. I don't know why it's not. I wonder if there's multiple things there then, if that's the case. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there again without any rope. So let's see. You know what? I think I will just go to the next part of the story. I don't know what else to do.
My life is a burden.
Okay, I'm not gonna risk getting caught, so I'll rest here.
What will your end of times look like, Harem? You'll hardly live to see it, and I'd like to know what to prepare for.
So much arrogance in your words, so much smugness. Do you wish to live forever? Grotus laughs at your plans, for they might be cut short in a day, in an hour, or the very next moment.
I want to at least buy some rope if I can. I really need it. I don't know who sells it. I would assume he does, but I haven't seen rope in his stuff to purchase. It's just weapons and shit. Yeah, there's nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Where the fuck do I buy rope? I'm gonna sell those to somebody else who would pay better. Nothing there. The rest of the stuff is food stuff. Oh. 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 Okay. Let's see, I already have incredible dexterity. I don't need any more rings of protection. So I don't think the... Yeah, it's not gonna stack. Intelligence. +1 insight bonus to attack against flat-footed and flanked. You, on the other hand, you're a wisdom caster, so you don't need intelligence. Are you a wisdom or intelligence caster? I think you're intelligence. Is there a way to tell? Doesn't say anywhere. I might just give it to her, actually. How does nobody have rope? Where do I buy rope? I'm looking right now. There's a dude in the Capitol. I'm going to be going back there anyways, so I'll probably get it there. Yeah, I'm going to assume that I just pick it up there. I don't necessarily need it right now. Do you have any daggers that would be super nice? Better than the punching dagger that I currently have. Masterwork dagger. No. No. Nope. All of these suck. Gotcha. Alright, fuck it.
Good work. Nice to see I haven't lost my intuition for people.
Hold on. I just realized something that may be off. Let me see if it's on right now. Hello? Speaking of things that are off, my eye tracker is not working all of a sudden. Cool. Like I said, things have just been not working all of a sudden for absolutely no reason. And apparently that is one of them. Just double checking some software. So give me one moment. It says that it's on, so maybe it's just the program that I'm using. Let's try to reboot it and see what happens. Yeah, now all of a sudden it's working, but it's off center. Nope. Well, yeah, something's up. I don't know what the hell's happening. What the fuck? This is acting really weird. Yeah, it's not... What the fuck? Hold on. I'm just gonna reboot the driver, I guess. If it will load. Let's see, services. Toby. Stop. Start. Okay, you say you're running. I don't see you running. Are you loading? It says that it's trying to load, but it's not doing anything. And it froze. I swear to God. I can't have anything nice on my goddamn birthday, ever. No sensor was found. Bitch. If Windows sees it, pretty sure it's there. Start. I literally booted my computer using this fucking thing, and you're telling me that it can't? Okay, are you working? Is it working? No, it's not working. Running, okay. It's running. And you're probably not gonna work still. Oh, it froze. Again. Cool. No sensor found. Sorry, what? What do you mean? Turn off the service. Make sure it's actually connected. I believe it's under... Gosh, where is it even at? Software devices? Software components. It's detected. Yep, it's detected by the computer. Okay. So you are fine. It's just the program that's required is not detecting it. Troubleshoot. Troubleshoot. For fuck's sake. I just want one birthday to at least go well. But it's the day after now, so maybe it'll work fine all of a sudden. Failed to connect. Restart the computer. No. Fuck you. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that then. We're just gonna keep playing, move on.
Not many would have managed to set out to the Stolen Lands and return with the Stag Lord's head, but I knew you could handle it. Congratulations are in order. Today, you'll receive the title of Baron before the High Society of Restov, and even Natala Sertova personally. God's bless her. Tomorrow, you'll be able to return to the Stolen Lands if you wish, but this time as a ruler. But matters of state can wait. For now, enjoy this feast in your honor. All the city leaders are here. It's a great opportunity to make some useful connections. Speaking of connections, let me introduce you to Kasil Eldori. He's my adopted son and apprentice. He's a trustworthy man. I'd like to send him with you as an envoy.
Okay. Kasil, a young half-orc with impeccable poise, performs a textbook perfect bow. Do you already know about my encounter with Tartuccio?
Of course. Keston gave me a full report. You dealt with the scoundrel perfectly. It would be naive to think that none of your neighbors will try to stick their hands in your affairs. Especially that sly fox Iravetti.
Who the fuck is Iravetti? Jamadi, just what kind of game are you playing? I think I have the right to know.
Yes. Yes, you certainly have that right. But tell me, how well do you know Brevoy's history or the current political atmosphere? It won't be an easy explanation.
Okay, what do I need to know about the history of Brevoy?
What's now called Brevoy was originally two different countries, Rostland and Issia. 200 years ago, they were stuck in constant squabbles. Then, Coral the Conqueror showed up and united the two states into one. Such diplomatic tricks are easy to manage when you have dragons at your disposal. The so-called noble houses of Brevoy, mainly Surtova, Orlovsky, and Lebeda, once ruled over Issia. We, the Aldori, ruled Rostland. The royal house Rogarvia, founded by Coral the Conqueror, forced us into obedience. But 200 years isn't long enough to make peace with such a troubled history. Even 2,000 years wouldn't be enough for us to accept Issian rule. Brevoy is a country held together by a thread, and that thread grows ever weaker.
Okay, what do I need to know about the current political atmosphere?
We, the Aldori and the great noble houses, spent 200 years under the rule of invaders, the royal house Rogarvia. We plotted, we schemed, we stabbed each other in the back, but open confrontation was out of the question. But a few years ago, House Rogarvia disappeared. No one knows how or why,
Just
but
gone.
one day, their manors were just empty.
Weird.
And the force that held Brevoy together, that kept us from a bloody feud, ceased to be.
Huh.
Brevoy is currently ruled by the House Surtova, the former kings of Issia. But their power pales in comparison to that of House Rogarvia when they were here. So now Surtova and Aldori stand facing each other, staring each other in the eye, waiting for the other to draw their sword. It's an untenable situation. No one wants a civil war that would drown Brevoy in blood, but peace between us is also out of the question.
Okay, what role do I play in your plans?
Rostland wants to regain its independence, and we will regain it. The power the Issians hold over us is humiliating and costly, and the Surtovas won't give us our freedom without a fight. That is, unless there is some external power that can force everyone to sit down and talk. Do you see where this is going? The stolen lands are disputed territory. Brevoy can't appropriate them without raising protests from each of the neighboring states. However, if some brave people were to found independent states on that land, it would be another matter entirely. My hope is that you and your future neighbors, Baron Hannes Drelev and Captain Maegor Varn, will become our allies. But even your neutrality would introduce a powerful counterbalance to the aggression of the noble houses. Maybe, with your help, the inevitable division of Brevoy can occur without too much pain.
Don't the Sword Lords have any other foreign allies capable of playing this role?
We hope to get some help from the Maivani Aldori, the descendants of the Sword Lords who have fled from Coral's rage to build a new nation in the south. But the Issians know this well, and are doing everything they can to deny us this help. I won't go into details, but if my intelligence is correct, if a civil war starts in Brevoy, Maivan will be too occupied with its own inner troubles to interfere.
Okay. Okay, if Natala is already here, why did she let you grant me the title?
Actually, she could still intervene and disrupt the proceedings. But she's a Surtova. Their games are always complex and multi-layered. They're always looking for ways to turn defeat into victory. If she's decided to allow you to become a baron, it means she already has some idea of how she can turn it to her benefit. Let's consider how she could do so. Maybe she understands that Rostland will inevitably separate and she doesn't want a war. In that case, new states in the Stolen Lands give the Issians a reason to sit down and talk without losing face. But that's an optimistic view, and truth be told, it doesn't quite match up with what we've come to expect from the Surtovas. The more likely scenario is that Natala wants to win you over to her side. If war breaks out and at least one of you stabs us in the back, Rostland will be surrounded by enemies. That might be enough to bring about our downfall. But you would fall first, and your newly formed states would be left in ruin. The Issians always like to have someone around to pull their chestnuts out of the fire for them. A piece of friendly advice? Don't do business with House Surtovas, no matter what promises they make you. Any deal with the noble houses is a deal with devils.
It just so happens that I like devils. Okay, what part does Restov play in this game?
Restov is a free city, proud of its independence from everyone, including the Aldori Sword Lords. But when it comes to Rostland's liberation, our goals align. This whole plan is our joint creation with Lord Mayor Yosef Selemius.
What happens next?
How should I know? We're in the middle of a big game. And today, you move from being merely a piece on the board to being one of the players.
Thank you for the explanation.
I hope you have a better understanding of what's at stake.
I don't need an envoy.
Don't think I'm trying to impose a nanny or a spy on you. We're neighbors now. You'll need someone knowledgeable about Brevoy's politics to act as an ambassador to your court. If you don't like Casil, you're free to choose someone else, but I won't be able to vouch for the loyalty or trustworthiness of another envoy.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to speak with the guests.
Enjoy your evening. When you're ready for the official part, come to me.
Alright, so who's all here? There's my team members. There's the other two. Some dudes. There's Yosef. There's Natala Sertova. Okay. I don't know you. Oh, you're coming to me.
Will you drink with me?
Oh, I do know you. You see Kayesi approaching, the tiefling you met during the battle at Jamandi Aldori's mansion. As she draws near, she places one of the cups of wine she's holding into your hand. Of course. To beauty.
To beauty. It sweetens our happy days and brings solace to our dark and sorrowful ones.
She smiles and taps her cup to yours.
But jokes aside, I came to apologize. I know the words I said in our conversation with Lady Aldery might have offended you, but this was not my intention. The lessons life has dealt me were not easy. I've learned to be wary of new acquaintances, which is why I've refused to join your party. I hope you will forgive me for this weakness and for my harsh words. And I hope you will hear me out, for I have something to tell you.
Oh. Okay. I mean, there's no need to apologize. I don't expect everyone I meet to immediately fall under my charms and entrust me with all their secrets.
How amusing. Usually those who don't seek affection are the very ones who receive it. Anyway, enough sweet talk. There is something important I wanted to tell you.
She looks down at her cup for a moment.
As it happens, I came across some very valuable information. What brave conqueror of these wild lands wouldn't be intrigued by news of an ancient shrine, possibly full of great treasures? A place such as this was discovered by my old friends from Kadira, and it just so happens to be located in the lands that today become rightfully yours. My friends lack the courage to enter the shrine and seek the treasure, but what will stop us? We who know the taste of battle and have been singed by the same fire.
She stops, looking at you expectantly. mean, fuck it, whatever. What could be better than a treasure hunt? I'm ready.
I'm sure you'd like to finally gain your official title and celebrate your victory. And I don't like noisy parties and ceremonies. Find me when you return to your dominion. I'll rent a house in your capital. We can discuss the details of our expedition there. So long, friend. I'll call you so today because soon enough, all you'll be hearing is, Your Grace, Your Grace, Your Grace.
Saluting you with the cup, the tiefling girl steps back and disappears in the shadows between the columns. They call this a feast? I'd show them some real festivities if they'd let me. Oh, vampire woman. Well, Taturcio, well, scum, and how do we, maybe I've had one too many. This man is obviously more comfortable on the battlefield than in the company of nobles. He's well built, but the expensive waistcoat he's wearing doesn't quite fit properly, as though it was borrowed. He has a few pale scars across his face, and his dark hair is drawn into an unkempt ponytail with a few streaks of gray running through it. He greets you with a broad smile and a firm handshake. Let me introduce myself. I am Egar Varn, the new ruler of Dunsward, your neighbor to the east. Like you, I'm about to be a baron. Great job with the Stag Lord, by the way. Not everyone could exterminate a whole gang of bandits with such a small team. How did you earn the title of baron? Truth be told, my team and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Jamandi Aldori needed someone reliable to take and hold the territory. I'm the captain of a mercenary team, if that wasn't clear. Varling Host. Have you heard of us? No? No matter. We've done work for Jamandi before. This time the task was simple. We just waltzed into the area, cleared it of the most brazen monsters, and built a small fort to hold the place. And for that, a barony and land to own. It was a dream job. How do you feel being a noble? Looking at his rich clothes, Varn smirks. Like a pheasant on a plate. I've killed all kinds of monsters, but this is the first time I've so strongly felt like turning away could get me eaten. He nods towards an arrogant man in the other corner of the room. See that lad? Drelav. He's not like us. He knows what generation of baron he is. Didn't even shake my hand. You and me, we're like dirt beneath his boots. That's why those like us, the newly made nobility, need to stick together. Otherwise, he'd take my land and yours in the blink of an eye. Well, it was nice meeting you. Farewell. Goodbye. Once you settled in, come pay us a visit. Pour up to the brim so that, oh, I must be drunk. I forgot the line. Can I talk to the guard? Hail! So that's a hard no. What does Lander have to say? A handsome, well-dressed young man of about 17 years old looks at you with a polite smile. He is kind of cute. So you're the famous slayer of the Stag Lord's gang, soon to be Baron? Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Lander. Just Lander? No last name? No title? Well, let's just say I'm here incognito. Under my circumstances, it's wise to keep one's lineage to oneself. Truth be told, that's precisely what I wanted to speak with you about. You see, I'm an heir to one of Brevoy's noble houses. I won't say which, but believe me, a newly appointed baron with no connections would do well to have a friend like me. I travel the country in secret without servants, so I can see it for myself. Not from a carriage window, but face to face with the people. My family would never approve, of course. Then I never asked. I need to know Brevoy if I'm going to rule a part of it someday. I know Jamande wants to impose her stepson on you as an emissary of Brevoy. Refuse. Take me instead. Don't look at my age. While they may have trained this half-orc to swing a sword, I've been training to rule since I was a child. I'll be of far greater use to you, but now and in the future, and after I have a firm position in my family. Are you from Restavik nobility? Oh, no, I'm not from here. I'm just visiting, you could say. I wanted to see for myself the heroes who managed to conquer the frontier lands, and the Lord Mayor was kind enough to invite me to this wonderful party. Please tell me again what you're doing here. I travel the country in secret, without servants, so I can see it for myself. Not from me. Okay, so he just repeats that line. Okay. I'll consider your proposal. Yes, do so, and carefully. Their wine is all right, nice and strong, but the appetizers, barely a mouthful. It's nice to see the beginning of a future noble family. These people are not just celebrating, it seems your feat has given them new hope. Okay. I have a feeling they're just all gonna say the same bullshit. Haha, to victory, to freedom, bottoms up, yes. Try the eclairs, they're delicious. A handsome man with a weather-beaten face grasps your hand tightly in his rough, calloused palms. Unlike the rest of the guests in their festive clothes, he wears a simple robe. The one luxury you see on him is a holy symbol of Erastil, made of solid gold. The other guests look at him with respect, some bordering on awe. Congratulations on your victory, he says in a deep voice. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ivan Kikig, High Priest of Erastil and Restov. I saw how you fought beside Jamande that night. Your god granted you impressive power. Yes, I used to serve Erastil on the battlefield, but those days are long past. Now I call on his power to heal those who've fallen from a roof more often than anyone wounded by a sword. Of course, someone has to roam the forests and slay monsters, but I'm more useful to my congregation here. Attending to more mundane affairs like hospitals, shelters, and charity fairs. Bringing Long to the Stolen Lands is a difficult endeavor. I would be grateful for any help you could spare. This is a truly noble undertaking. I believe our community will be able to provide you with reasonable assistance. We will help you construct a shrine in your capital, free of charge. Do many people in Restov venerate Erastil? They revere many gods in Restov. They pray to Abadar, patron of cities, and Pharasma, gatherer of souls. There are also some more rare cults. But there's no denying that the stag god has the largest congregation here. And no wonder. People here have lived off farming and hunting for centuries. You're dressed surprisingly simple for such a festive occasion. The corners of the priest's mouth turn up in a faint smile. The nobles dress in silks and satins to stand out from the poor. A priest wears simple robes to stand out from the nobles. Well, it was an honor to meet you. Goodbye. Erastil keep you. Ah, yes. I see good old Restov hasn't changed a bit. Even the smell in the streets is the same. Natala Surtova is discussing something with an unfamiliar old lady in a low voice. Upon noticing you, she breaks into a sugary, sweet smile. You are not only tough, but quick. Well, congratulations on your victory. Enjoy it while you can. What do you think awaits me? Nothing good, I fear. The Aldori, our dearest friends, didn't deem it necessary to inform you of their plans, I assume. You see, they're preparing to separate from Bavoy. It will not be a peaceful process. They lack the strength currently, hence using this legal loophole to create some independent allies. Once the civil war breaks out, your lands will be the first to endure a strike from Brevoy's forces. Perhaps they'll erect a memorial stone in independent Rostov to honor you. Well, I wouldn't count on even that, really. Well, what would you propose? In your situation, the most reasonable course of action would be to align yourself with the lawful rulers of Brevoy, the noble houses. The Aldori won't dare to rebel, knowing they will immediately become entrapped. You could help Brevoy avoid a civil war while simultaneously enjoying some well-deserved peace in your lands. I believe Jamande has already attempted to impose a guard on you as an emissary. I'm guessing her low-born stepson, the green-skinned boy, Casil. It's up to you, of course, but I would recommend you a different envoy. Please meet Chandra Merve, an experienced diplomat who's more familiar with Brevoy's politics than any brawler could be. The old woman standing next to Natala gives you a slight bow. I would be happy to help you establish diplomatic relations with Brevoy. I'll consider your proposal. Think on it. Do not make any hasty decisions. So I have 3 people vying for my attention. For the best ending that I'm trying to aim for, I don't know if there's a very specific thing I have to choose here, so I'm going to look it up real quick before I decide on anything. Let's see here. Where the fuck am I looking? Pathfinder Kingmaker secret ending. That's what I wanted. It doesn't say. At least not there. Let's see. Okay. That's for the other stuff. It doesn't specify. Yeah, it doesn't specify. An older man with full sideburns looks at you with interest through a golden eyeglass.
Well now, if it isn't the hero of the festivities, the protege of our dear Jamande. You pulled this all off quite cleverly. I confess I wasn't convinced your enterprise would succeed. I even bet a bottle of my best Pitaxian wine against you, but I'm happy to admit I was wrong. The Aldori have always been adept at finding new talent.
I don't believe we've been introduced.
So it would seem. I am Yosef Salemius, Lord Mayor of Rostov. I rule this town and the adjacent lands. As your northern neighbor, I hope we can look forward to a long and fruitful friendship.
So you rule Rostov? What about the Aldori?
Brevoy's politics seem complex and incomprehensible to many. Here in this part of Rostland, the spirit of northern freedom still lives. We are loyal to the throne, of course. May the gods prolong the life of His Highness. But here, far from the dominions of the great houses, we have our own way of life. It is especially important now, after the certain events that I probably don't need to name. The Aldori Sword Lords used to rule Rostland. They're still the largest landowners and main military force in the region. But it's not for nothing that Rostov is called a free city. We're proud to choose the Lord Mayor from among the citizens, considered not by their lineage, but by their own merits. What kind of events were you talking about? Mayor Selimius gives you a patronizing smile. Why, an aspiring politician needs to be well informed. I'm talking, of course, about the disappearance of the ruling house Rogarvia. Can you imagine it? Old man Coral conquered our land 2 centuries ago. It would be a shameless lie to say that nobody wished his royal house could just disappear into thin air. But once that exact thing happened, turned out nobody was ready for it. Poof! All over the country, every member of the royal house disappeared without a trace. Nobody knows what happened. It is a mystery, but a mystery pregnant with opportunity for everyone.
How are things in Rostov?
I don't want to boast, but things have been going well in recent years. Trade prospers, the population grows, and the citizens are happy. Although recently, especially after the disappearance of House Rogarvia, more and more troublemakers have been appearing, and people are talking about the most shocking things. But those sorts of rumors aren't worthy of your attention.
It was nice meeting you. Goodbye.
Please, wait a moment. Your young barony will need resources to establish itself, and from what I've been told, you're somewhat in need of financial assistance. I could organize and supply everything you need for the construction and spread out the cost on extremely favorable terms. I could immediately procure, let's say, 500 cartloads of building supplies. I'm sure that would give you a good start. In exchange, I would ask for a small favor. Until you repay the debt in full, you simply assume the obligation of contracting building services through Rostov's Builders Guild. Do we have a deal? I mean, I'd be happy to accept your offer. Then it's a deal. I'll get everything in order right away and schedule a delivery immediately. Okay, bye. The feeling is mutual, I assure you. I look forward to hearing more of your dazzling successes soon.
So, how do you like our little gathering? I hope you've made some useful connections. Shall we move on to the official proceedings?
Before we begin, I'd like to talk about the envoy I'll be taking with me.
My apprentice, Casil Aldori, will go with you, won't he?
I mean, I kinda like Lander because he's cute. Just something about greenskins. Like, I don't mind them, because I love me some gobos. But orcs are a little rough in bed. You know, I'm not a fan of rough bedtimes. But then again, I'm assuming Lander is supposed to be neutral compared to everybody else who's like swinging one way or the other. I know that at a certain point, it will be useful to have certain people in certain sections for what's coming up. I don't know who would be best for what I'm aiming for. Let me see if there's another little walkthrough here about the best ending. Because the one that's mainly used by people just doesn't seem to show the information about the envoy. But I know it exists. I need certain people in certain seats. There we go. That's the seats that I need. and apparently has nothing to do with what I'm currently doing, so I can ignore it. Then again, I don't really... If he's with me, does that mean that I have to, like, level him up and stuff, too? Or is he just out of my control? Fuck it. Okay, green skin.
Whatever you choose, I won't argue. But you must choose your inner circle with the utmost care.
I am ready for the ceremony.
Excellent. Stand here. Lords and ladies, today we are here to honor 3 brave people who have done the impossible.
3?
They've tamed the stolen lands. Baron Hannes Drelev, the new master of Glenabon. Captain Maegor Varn, the conqueror of Dunsword. And finally, the tamer of the Shrike Hills, who put an end to the atrocities of the Staglord's bandits. Step forward. On behalf of the people of the free city of Restov, I confer upon you this noble title. Rise, your grace.
Victory! The Stag Lord's dead, and the capital of the new barony has been built in place of his fort. That was how the long and challenging taming of the stolen lands began.
Welcome, Your Grace. Keston salutes you. You can see he's a bit anxious, and it seems he'd rehearsed his speech many times.
Let me once again congratulate you on your victory and your new title. Lady Jamandi transferred me here. I'm at your disposal. I'm not one to bestow honors, but I want you to know I'm glad to serve you. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of your new capital citizens. The Staglord's former stronghold will soon be a thriving city. Word travels fast, and the first settlers have already arrived, with new ones approaching as we speak. While you were visiting Restov, much has been done here. Your benefactors, the Aldori, invested a great deal of resources in rebuilding the city. I stand ready to answer your questions and to show you around the most important sites. The main question is, where can I get a drink or 3? It's time to toast my victory. Gaston hesitates a brief moment, then laughs. I'll make sure to show you the moment we enter the city. The tavern was the first business that opened. Building a city is thirsty work, and I beg your forgiveness for my behavior during your reception. I drank a little too much. It is a day for celebration. Where are my companions? They're all somewhere around here, but I never kept an eye on who went where exactly. Well, I assume Tristian is with Jod, and you can always find Lindsay. Just follow the noise and turmoil. Are there any citizens I should know about? Our old acquaintance Jod is right here. Erastil's clerics normally don't like cities much, but he's eager to serve you. Also, the emissary from Bavoy is here, waiting for you in the throne room. There is also this curious matter. An elf has paid us a visit. A blind elf. Desna. Only knows how he managed to get here. He seems a peaceful, even pleasant fellow, though naturally a little odd. so I let him stay a while. It's up to you to decide what to do with him now. That's about it, I guess. What's the mood of the people here? I must admit, I've never seen anything like that my whole life. A city, a whole barony born right in front of our eyes. The people sense the moment, and today we're feeling proud. As a rule, I'm not too cheerful or chatty. I normally feel out of place among all of the rejoicing, but today is just one of those days. I'm ready to look around the city. Lead the way. Follow me, Your Grace. Greetings, Your Grace. We are, well, your new subjects. We're selecting a site to build our house. It's wet near the lake and windy up here on the hill. A fine place to throw garbage at your neighbors' heads, though. Or neighbors' heads, though. Ouch. It's a good thing you got rid of those monsters and bandits, Your Grace. Do you recognize this place, Your Grace? This is where the Stag Lord's fortress wall used to be. Not that it saved him in the end, huh? Our workers did a fine job turning this bandit den into the heart of the town. The heart of every town is its main square. We plan to hold street festivities and fairs here. Look, we already have our first vendor. Continue. Greetings, Your Grace. If you turn to the right from the square, you'll end up straight in our tavern. The tavern's ale is blessed by Caden Caelian himself, or Caden Caelian himself. I swear. And the lady who owns it is a gem. I've heard our Baron is tall as a troll, has hair of pure gold, and can breathe fire. Oh, that's all nonsense. Well, except for the part about breathing fire. All Barons can breathe fire. Trust me. Welcome, Your Grace. Glad to serve you. Your Grace, those are our guards. They keep order in the city. Or, no, I totally missed what he just said. Out of every other text box that stayed on the screen, that was the one that disappeared. Here's the observation platform. I hope one day your capital will grow large enough that we won't be able to see its full extent from this perch. And of course, this one stays on a lot longer. The building in front of us is your residence. That's where we'll head to now. You are about to make the unyielding, stolen lands a prosperous kingdom. There's a long and arduous road ahead of you. You and your advisors are going to deal with matters of national importance, found and build up settlements, seize and develop new regions, solve pressing problems, and take advantage of good opportunities. A prosperous governor will be handsomely rewarded with support and donations from their subjects, promising alliances with other states wealthy for their treasury, and many other things. Oh boy. So now we've reached the main chambers. This is the throne room, where you'll hold court and receive visitors. Let me draw your attention to this large map, depicting your barony and its surroundings. We'll mark all the important scout reports and other news worthy of your Grace's attention. Having finished his speech, Keston tucks his thumb under his belt and stands quietly. Greetings, Your Grace. Casil. Lady Jamandi's ward gives a polite bow. It was a pleasure to meet you at the Restov reception. On behalf of your allies and benefactors, the Aldori Sword Lords, I'd like to offer you some advice. Barony effects, Community 6, Loyalty 6, Military 3, Economy 3, Divine 3, Arcane 3, Stability 3. New event, Trade Agreement with Sertova, Agreement with Yosef Selimius. Izvanki's offer, Pillage the Temple of the Elk, Rebuild the Temple of the Elk, Research into the nature of curses. That's oddly specific, but okay. You can solve most of your barony's problems by granting appointments to the right people, the responsible people. But certain state business will demand your personal attention, as will the visits of especially important guests. Reports of such outstanding events will be marked on your map. You can always check it while considering your plans. New event, Trade Agreement with Sertova, Agreement with... wait, I've already read those. They didn't go away. You may change the difficulty level of your barony at any time or set it to automatic. If you set it to automatic, you won't have to deal with most government decisions. It will be taken care of automatically and your barony will never fail. However, this will also prevent you from unlocking any governance-related achievements. According to the ancient traditions of Brevoy and most of the river kingdoms, rulers address affairs of state and receive visitors at the beginning of the month. My advice to you is to maintain this tradition, and regularly visit your capital when needed. The first thing you should do as a ruler is assign loyal people to all the important positions in your barony. Your clerics, Jod and Tristan, were the first to seek an audience. I won't distract you further, and I'll leave you to consider. Once again, my congratulations. May your rule be long and prosperous. Wait, so we're doing it now? Your Grace, allow me to congratulate you on receiving the title of Baron. I am confident that you will be able to bring order to these troubled lands. Jod stumbles slightly. Though, to be honest, that isn't exactly what we wanted to speak to you about. Tristan and I have been talking a great deal about what happened at the Temple of the Elk. It doesn't all make sense to us yet. But one thing is clear. There is a powerful curse at work. It corrupted the very essence of that sacred place, steeping it with putrescence. Ugh, I am disgusted with whoever could do this. Jod exhales loudly, catching his breath. And now, there is a new woe. Tristan and I believe the curse did not simply disperse of its own accord. There is a place near the capital rumored by the locals to be cursed. Tristan and I visited this dreadful place, and we felt the same putrescence as at the Temple of the Elk. What is this place? Where is it? There's a bold hilltop not far from here, to the north of the capital. Its crown is entirely barren of life. The locals believe that rituals glorifying the dark gods were held there back in ancient times. There is no longer any trace of such rituals, but the air around the hilltop is heavy to the point of stifling. This place is like a rotting wound, closed but not healed. And this wound will undoubtedly open again. Tristan and I felt something approaching, something ominous. The curse will soon return to plague us once more. I swear by Erastil. Okay, I will go there as soon as I am able. I would be happy to accompany you, but I would not expect to see anything new there at present. I agree with Tristan. We have been to this hilltop. It's barren, but filled with a dense atmosphere of unease. Okay, well, what do you suggest? The curse will grow in strength, and we predict it will reach the peak of its strength in about 1 month. That's when we should visit the Bald Hilltop and resolve this issue. For now, we can only wait and prepare. We beg your pardon, Your Grace, for intervening with you getting the grasp of your barony. I'm sure you have even more pressing matters at hand right now.
is a burden.
Same. Okay, so the barony has 10 basic stats, each supervised by an advisor. They are as follows. Population, a regent. Loyalty has a counselor. Military has a general. Economy has a treasurer. Divine has a high priest. Relations has a grand diplomat. Stability has a warden. Magic has a magister. Culture has a curator. And espionage has a minister. Stats increase if your governance is successful and decrease if events don't end well or other negative factors are placed in your way. Don't let your barony stats drop to 0 or lower. This will cause your subjects to riot and your state will begin to crumble. Each stat has certain milestones or ranks within them. Every 20 points in a stat will increase your rank. Rank 1 unlocks a corresponding advisor position for that stat. Further development of the stat and upgrades to its ranks will be possible only if you have an advisor in the relevant position. Governing your barony will require one advisor for each stat. You may appoint your companions as well as some of the Stolen Lands citizens into these advisor positions. Each of the 10 positions has at least 3 characters who are qualified to hold it. Not all of these characters will be willing to serve you right away. Some of them will need to be convinced. Appointing others will require completing an assignment for them or rendering them some other service. Every advisor acts on their own ideology. They have their own opinions on everything that happens in your domain. Therefore, you may want to select characters whose governance philosophy is consistent with your own. Open the Advisor tab on the right side of the screen, click an empty slot, and select a character to appoint them as an advisor. Every barony stat gains a bonus from a specific ability of the appointed advisor. The exact size of the bonus is indicated in the upper right corner of the advisor's card. Only advisors may address the problems, opportunities, and sudden events that occur in your domain and require immediate attention. Don't leave these positions vacant. What is the name of my land? The name of my land is... Meat Town. Meat Town. For the entire land. It's not even a town. It's perfect. Okay, click on your capital icon to open the settlement map. Everything is at 0. Projects. What the fuck? Advisors. There we go. That's what I want. What is this? A regent. Who will be the regent? Valerie will be the regent. What is this? Counselor. Tristan or Tsana, but favor the merchants, not the common folk. Let's see. Oh, Tristan is all I have. General will be Regengar. Treasurer will be a person I do not have. High Priest will be Harem. Okay. What is this? Regions 1. Claim outskirts. Declare the outskirts a part of your kingdom. Oh. I don't know what to do here. Just gonna... Curses. Okay, so curses is a thing that I need to completely focus on as soon as possible. Especially for the good ending. So curses. Now that the undead engineer's curse has been lifted, it might be prudent to study it and be more prepared this time. Choose an advisor to handle this event. Advisors will act according to their position in government, beliefs, and alignment. Choose wisely. It doesn't say what I have to do here for the advisor bullshit. Each curse... Okay, hold on. In order to understand how to break the curse, you'll need to understand curses yourself. You have to learn about all kinds of curses throughout the game. Projects for their study will appear after completing the main and secondary quests associated with the object of the curse. In total, there are 16 curses available to study in the game, but to achieve the best ending, it is only enough to study only 13, so I can fail at least 3. Each curse study project takes a long time. The High Priest and the Magistar are responsible for studying the curses. Some curses can be studied by both of them, and some only by one. Unfortunately, I did not take notes on who can study which curse. Of course you didn't. You'll have to plan this process because it will take up almost the entire game. In this case, your advisors will not be available for other tasks or projects. It is possible and should be doable even with a large margin of time. In addition, the longest non-curse projects can be done, obviously. Fuck. Okay. Is there another guide for the best ending on what to do here? Doesn't say. Doesn't say. Doesn't say. Shit. Is there another one out there in the wild? Come on, Paige. Let's see. They don't say anything there. There's a Reddit thread about this, which is the thread that I already have open. Shit. Well, okay, I guess I'm just gonna wing it. Start project. What is this? Economy? 2 of them are failed, I guess. Is there anything else that I need to know right now? Doesn't say. Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't say. Fuck. Oh, that's really annoying. Okay. Insufficient funds. Okay. Requires 7 days and no advisors available for the position. Oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. Okay. Isvanki Keeg, High Priest of Erastil from Restov, has a strong interest in spreading the Stag God's faith across the region. He is eager to build a shrine dedicated to Erastil on your lands, but at his own expense. Accept his offer if you wish to gain a useful ally in place of worship of Erastil. That would be a good idea. Does the Steam Guide have anything to say about this? It does not. Huh. Okay. How about this one? Does that give me anything to go by? Oh, this talks about curses. It doesn't say. What about everything else in the game that I need to know? Or is there not? Doesn't say. Doesn't say. Ooh. Do not play any romances. Okay. Oh, but he's in the middle of a thing, so he can't do it. Pillage the Temple of the Elk and rob it of all remaining treasure. Prevents future restoration of the temple. Rebuild the Temple of the Elk. So pillage or rebuild. You know what? Yeah. But he's in the middle of stuff. So there's really nothing I can do right now except just wait. The project that I put you on ends in 45 days. I don't know how long it takes for you to actually do it, though. And if I cancel, then it costs BP to cancel. I only have 7 days, so does it take the full 45 days for this to finish? If so, I'll have to reload my save. It does. Wonderful. Great. Perfect. Reload. I don't know which one. I would assume this. Fuck, that's annoying.
Victory. The Stag Lord.
Can I fast forward this part? can't skip. Let me skip. Skip. Skip, skip, skip. I want to skip this. Fast forward! Well, isn't that just a load of dog shit? Yes, continue. Continue, 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 continue. What is this place? Where is it? I'll go there as soon as I'm able. What do you suggest? Continue, end.
My life is a burden.
Okay, next. Meat Town. Advisors. Alright, so let's try this again. Regent. Who did I say was the regent? I forgot. Where's my list? There you are. Valerie. Tristan. Regengar. Don't have anybody for treasury. And you are Harem. I'm assuming I can change these at any time. Okay, cool. Alright, so curses can only be done by harem, right? Fuck. It's not a good thing. Because I need harem for the other things. I want to rebuild. He's already doing stuff. I should have saved. Oh well, that's fine. It said 5 days, and now it's 60? What? What? Oh my god. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So should I just say fuck it and focus purely on just doing the curses? I have to construct buildings? I don't like this part of the game. I just don't like this part. This is not fun. What do I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. There's a reason why I don't play RTS games, and this is why. Fuck. Let me, okay. I'm gonna have to reload again. This is ridiculous.
Victory. The
Yeah. She talked too much. Okay, this time I'm gonna quick save before I do any stupid decisions. While this is happening, I'm just gonna keep reading on the secret ending. Oh, this one says that, yeah, I made a good choice with my envoy. Lander would have been a bad guy. Good to know. Doesn't really tell me much here. Just some of the quest lines. It doesn't even mention curses in this guide. This does, though, but it doesn't give you much info because the dude was talking in Russian and this was translated very poorly. Okay, so continue, and
My life is a burden.
Neat Town, USA. Oh. Okay, F5. Valerie. Tristan. Ragnar. If I choose Jod, does he pop up in the other things? Wait a minute. Ah. So he gets a +5. He also gets a +5. But I guess the question is, if I put somebody into that, will it not let me do other things for the other stuff? Maybe I should look around first before I do anything. I'm gonna walk around town first before I do anything. I can't walk around town. Okay. Let's get the piers. Let's get a shop. We need a barracks. Longhouse will be in the center of town, I think. Watchtower. What is... I see green things there. I'm assuming that's a wall that I can't seem to do. Okay. Tavern. Buy the shops. Put a lumber mill there. Have our own brewery. Yeah, I need a place to find a fucking windmill. Wall. I need more money. Maybe we'll just do a granary. No. I don't have a place to build a windmill. How can there not be a place to build a windmill? I guess we could do a smithy. An herbalist house would be a good idea. I also got to make people happy, so we'll do a dance hall. There. That'll work for now. What is this? Purchase BP. Oh, that's for the gold that I have, I guess? I could buy BP for that. I'll leave that alone for now, till I absolutely need it. If I don't put an advisor, could I choose anybody for the curses? What? Okay. Ah. Alright, harem. 7 days to resolve. 60 days to solve. 45 days to solve. Might as well get that one out of the way. We'll quick save.
My life is a burden.
Okay. So that's out of the way. Can I walk around town? Like, where's the portion where I get to walk around town and meet with people and stuff? Or is that just not a thing that happens? It doesn't seem like it's a thing that happens. I'm very confused by this portion of the game. I was under the impression that I could walk around and talk with people and buy more stuff to do other things. Success. High Priest of Erastil from Restov has a strong interest in spreading the Stag God's faith across the region. He is eager to build a shrine dedicated to Erastil on your lands. The first shrine in your capital will be built free of charge. Perfect. Where am I going to build it? Doesn't say. Even better. There are no spaces to build. This is very unfortunate. Insufficient funds. I do need to focus on the curses, though, so we'll do curses. Okay. Why is harem needed for this? Focus on curses. Like, it seems very limited. Require 7 days to solve. 60 days to solve. 60 days to solve. 14 days to solve. None of these have a limit to when they run away. Let's bring Tristan, I guess. Insufficient funds. How many do I need? 150? I have 97. Just one will be enough. I'm sorry? Did you not buy BP? Oh, it's only 2 B. Oh, wow, that's expensive. It didn't seem to change anything. Fuck. I don't have enough money for this nonsense. The exchange rate is ridiculous. Just gonna have to skip a day. One event. Harem seems to be worried and wants to discuss something. Okay. Harem looks embarrassed. He runs his fingers through his beard and clears his throat a few times, then speaks at last.
I heard, not that it is important, but, well,
He clears his throat again.
I heard that an ancient trade road built by the dwarves of the Five Kings Mountains runs through these lands. I don't know what happened to them, or where they are, or where they went. Unforgiving time spares no one. But the road itself is still here, and possibly not only the road.
Harem holds his beard in his fist.
Well, I have a request. If you find any dwarven ruins in the area, I'd like to see them with my own eyes.
Why do you ask this? He fiddles with his beard again.
I shouldn't, probably, but it's like a wound that's never healed. You know, it will only hurt more, but you still need to scratch it. Of course, it's foolish and vain. But still, I wish to look at them.
Of course, Harem. If I find any dwarven ruins, I'll take you to them.
Thank you. I will, thank you.
Oh, now I can move around and stuff? Alright. What's this? Oh, that's all the stuff. Cool. Your Grace. I'd like to know more about you. Happy to serve, Your Grace. He bows courteously. Tell me of your origins.
I grew up alone on the streets of Restov. I know nothing of my parents.
It's more than likely that my mother just wanted to be rid of me. Probably left me somewhere in an alley as a baby. I don't feel I have the right to blame her. I don't remember how I survived. My first memory is of sneaking into someone's backyard. I must have been 3 or 4, and trying to steal food from a cat. He smiles sadly. A half-orc among the Brevik aristocracy is a rare sight indeed. Lady Jamandi Aldori herself brought me into the family. She picked me up off the streets when I was about 14. I was fighting some lord's guardsmen. Their master had expressed his wish, in a most inappropriate manner, to acquaint me with his female wolfhound in the hopes of producing offspring. Casil's lips turn up slightly, the corner stopping just short of looking sinister. No other sign of emotion crosses his face. I was at what would politely be called a disadvantage when I saw a flashing beam of light reflect off a lone sword. What happened next was too fast for me to follow, but all 3 of my torturers fell to the ground. A single woman standing above them. She turned to the Lord and coldly asked him, "And just what is it you're doing in there? Or in here?" Casil speaks almost reverently, genuine awe in his voice. I had never seen a Restovic noble so afraid, but he was also almost reverent. And this lord was a close companion to the mayor at that. At the time I had no idea who this woman was, but I couldn't keep myself from rushing after her. Well, hobbling, really, and pleading with her. "Teach me, please teach me." What's it like for you living among humans? It isn't easy, Your Grace. I was born and raised in Restov. I don't know a single word of Orc. I devoted my entire life to proving myself worthy to bear the name Aldori. But to most people, I'm still a half-orc first and foremost. Anything else is secondary. It infuriated me when I was younger, but with age, I've learned to accept my fate. To me, I'm simply Casil, a street urchin from Restov who became the student of Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you. Let's discuss something less personal. I need to discuss politics and affairs of the barony with you. What's the situation between the Aldori and the royal house Sertova? Casil's face remains impassive, but his speech becomes slower, more deliberate. The Sertovas and the Aldori are different in nature and spirit. They are as water and stone, a snake and an eagle. When Coral the Conqueror came to our lands, the Sertovas didn't even attempt to defend themselves. They gave up the crown in exchange for positions of power in the new court, along with the safety of their lands. The Aldori went to war and lost. I dare not even say valiantly lost. The damage inflicted on Roslin's armies by the Red Dragons of Coral the Conqueror, well, it was a slaughter. A crushing defeat. A barely noticeable frown darkens Casil's face. Even with 2 centuries of effort, the Aldori and Roslind have yet to fully recover. For 2 centuries we fought for survival, while the Sertovas have flourished and grown stronger at the side of the throne. Needless to say, now that King Noleski Sertova and his sister Natala rule over Bavoy, our relationship hasn't improved. The Sertovas fear the Aldori, and the Aldori don't trust the Sertovas. That's the current situation between our houses. What can you tell me about the River Kingdoms? In times past, they were little more than a nest of bandits. Frankly, that hasn't really changed. Casil frowns disapprovingly. Of all the kingdoms, Paytax is probably of the greatest interest. King Iraveti rose to power too quickly and too easily. I would recommend your grace take great caution with him. You must know much of the history of Brevoy and the neighboring lands. Casil's eyes light up. In Restov, I spent nearly as much time studying historical chronicles as I did training with the sword. What would you like to discuss, Your Grace? I'd like to hear about the early history of Brevoy. Oh, that's a story written in blood. Aldori blood, mostly. In the beginning, Brevoy was 2 independent lands. House Sertova reigned over Isia, and the Aldori ruled Rostland. They were not peaceable neighbors. Isia's soil was too poor to sustain its population, and its people were too cruel and proud to simply stand by and watch as their neighbors prospered. I'd be willing to bet that Restov's northern walls still hold a few marks left by Sertova soldiers. During their frequent raids from ages past, of course. It was Coral Rogarvia, later known as Coral the Conqueror, who put an end to all that. He brought each realm to its knees. Only one side knelt willingly. The other ended up first paying a devastating toll. Tell me about the Sword Lords. I could speak for days about the Sword Lords, but I'll try to condense things so as not to bore your grace. Our history goes back to ancient times, when Roslind was ruled by Baron Syrian first. He was a notorious squabbler and duelist, but at the time, he wasn't as skillful as he thought. After losing a fight against a local gang leader, the Baron was the one who issued the challenge. He went into exile to hide his shame. But that was just the beginning. No one knows where Syrian wandered, but a few years later, he returned to Rosland, a changed man. He challenged that same gang leader to another duel and bested him handily. The Baron then declared an open challenge. Anyone who could defeat him would be rewarded handsomely. After that, not a month would pass without Syrian seeing another challenger. Renowned fighters and experienced warriors came and went, but none, not a single one, could best the Baron. In those years, Syrian took on his new name, Aldori. But many people preferred to call him simply the Sword Baron. So, the Baron was the first Sword Lord? The very same. His heirs inherited the secrets of his dueling style, along with the name Aldori. Ever since, the name has been passed down from master to student, along with the title Sword Lord.
The Aldori are simultaneously a family and an alliance. Sword Lords will usually teach their own children, but many of us were brought in from outside the family. Occasionally, you can even find a half-orc fosterling or two. Casil gives a slight bow. Let's change the subject. Can I rely on you in matters of state? You notice Casil's eyes flash. Certainly, Your Grace. To the best of my ability, I've learned from Lady Aldori not only the art of the sword, but also the ability to inspire. I could apply myself in the role of military advisor. Thank you. I've learned what I needed. No, how do you like it in my party? I think it's grand. You have a fine gang of lunatics here. I myself am no noble from high society. but seriously, Octavia and I never even dreamed of a leader like you. We imagined we'd sit in the woods and rob wagons, maybe join a band of mercenaries, but we never expected to become the henchman of a local ruler. Not to mention such a pretty one. Regengar winks at you playfully. Okay, so I know that for the good ending or the secret ending, I can't get into a relationship with anyone. So I'm a little afraid of saying what I want to say, but I'm going to try. I thought you and Octavia were together. Wouldn't she be jealous? Octavia and I are connected, and this connection cannot be broken. We grew into each other, you know? Jealousy is for weak cowards who don't trust each other and are scared of being tricked. If a knight on the side threatens your love, that just means there was no real love there to begin with. She and I are together to the end, and we will never part from each other. So when she likes some lad or some lass, it's no drama to me. I just ask her whether she wants me to leave them alone or join in. And she does the same. No, there is no need to be afraid of my Octavia's jealousy, but beware of her tenderness. Not everyone can handle her. Are you serious? You better not joke like that. What if I happen to like you too? The half-orc approaches you closely and locks eyes with you. And what if it's not a joke, huh? After a pause, he steps back and laughs heartily. I'm joking! Or am I? We can discuss it later. Another time and place. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, cool. So I can exit the map or exit here. I'm gonna exit here. There's clearly some other things that I can do because I need more people on my team. So maybe there's like some side quests I'll come across. Save some people, bring them here.
Hello, my savior.
Oh.
You asked if we'd meet again. And here I am.
Yeah, here you are.
I see your fate has changed since last we met. Now you are the ruler who will determine the destiny of these lands. I am their living heart, the whisper of the wind, the strength of rivers, the luxuriant growth of the meadows. Do you wish to touch this power? I will show you a place where we can finally meet in flesh, you and I. Deep in the woods, there is an old mossy ruins long abandoned, nearly swallowed by the thicket. There is an old tree growing among the stones in the yard, which I remember as a seed. A shadow under its green crown I call my verdant chambers. Visit me there, my lord, and come alone. A nymph's reward awaits you.
I have to be very careful with what I say, because this also determines the ending. I don't know if there's anything specific here that I have to say. I don't think there is. Just checking right now. Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with the current stuff, so it doesn't give me hints on what to say. All I know is I have to be positive. Wait, I wish to ask you something.
Forgive me. Nymphs are not made for cities. The noise and vanity of human settlements vex me. I will answer all your questions, but there, in the silence of my asylum.
Well, I don't need any reward. Seeing you is the best reward for me.
Then come to my chamber and be my guest. We'll share stories and laughter, imagine the future, and dream. So long, I will await you there, as the ground waits for spring under the heavy winter's snow.
Okay. A young dwarf, red-haired, neat and surprisingly clean-shaven, stands leaning against a sledgehammer. He's busy reading some book, but as you approach, he looks up and bows slightly.
Greetings, Your Grace. I am Verdel, a blacksmith. What can I do to help you?
Goods. I don't want to give you any stuff. I want rope. You don't seem to sell anything, though. Nothing worth for me to purchase, at least. Okay. You see a dark-skinned, wiry man with a weather-beaten face and a happy smile on his face. He is dressed luxuriously, and his dark hair and neat mustache are exquisitely coiffured. The man bows to you, spreading his arms a little.
Hasuf from Absalom is happy to welcome you, Your Grace. Come, take a look at the best wares we traveling merchants have to offer. Please, come, take a look.
Let's see what you have. Rope. Oh, hold on. Okay, rope is required. Do that now. Ooh, another bag of holding. No, I can't afford it. Fuck. How much weight? 200 pounds? Oh, that's nice. Amulet of natural armor. What does my boy currently have? Oh, I already have the same amulet. Eyes of the Eagle. +5 competence on perception. Ooh, +1 bonus to CMD against disarm attempts. Okay. I got the one thing that I wanted. I need to talk to a high-end merchant so I can sell them stuff. The tiefling girl looks as though she's made of springs. She could not stand still for a moment. She nods her head, snaps her fingers, and taps her feet to an inner whirling song. Seeing you, she quickly waves her hand and breaks into a wide smile and immediately starts jabbering.
Your Grace, welcome. What do you want? Scrolls? I have them. You won't regret it. My suppliers will bring more scrolls for sale if you manage to attract more mages to your lands. More mages, more demand, and more goodies for you. So go build them libraries and we'll both profit from it.
Wow. A lot of stuff, huh? Okay. Keep that in mind. This is a big-ass map. Throne room, into the house. What's this? Points of interest. Okay, let's take a look at that other person. A woman in rich, gold-embroidered clothes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the color of molten gold, shine brightly in her dusky face.
Greetings, noble ruler of these lands. My name is Arsino. I'm a messenger from the Temple of Abadar in Absalom, and I came here assuming the citizens of your young barony could use the services of a priest.
What services do you offer?
I can sell you various divine spells, spell scrolls. They're quite useful, even if you don't have anyone in your party who can read them. While you're in this settlement, or indeed any place with a cleric willing to help, you need only open your bag and choose the scroll you wish to cast. I'll be happy to read it for you. However, take care out there in the wilderness. A scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use a scroll on your journals, you'll need a spellcaster whose magical training covers the spells. Okay. Good to know. Are you the high-end guy? Tell me about yourself.
My pleasure, your grace. The merchant smooths his mustache and commences his story with an air of importance, speaking in a sonorous voice, gesturing wildly. Asif's family was not rich, and he, as many in Absalom, had to start from the very bottom. As a child, while his peers chased pigeons and stole apples at the markets, he worked at a tannery. Oh, I can still smell this disgusting stench. The man pulls out a heavily perfumed handkerchief and waves it in the air. Well, the young apprentice worked hard, saved every coin, and soon managed to purchase the tannery from his former master. Then, as soon as he had enough money, he opened his own trading agency. After 10 years, countless deals, and many tours in his caravan, Hassuf was once one of the most successful merchants in Absalom, thus writing his name indelibly in the history of the great city. The merchant looks at you with pleasure. Well, how was that? I'm looking for a writer so I can dictate my memoirs. I think many would find it interesting and useful to learn more about me. What is the secret to your success? There is no secret. Perseverance, strength of character, attention to detail, the gift of persuasion, charm. All this, among many other things, are key to success in my profession. But if I did have a secret, who would I be to share it with anyone? The merchant laughs merrily, his hands rubbing his sides. Why did you leave Absalom, the center of global trade, for some young barony in the stolen lands? This is a long story. I don't think your grace would be interested.
Oh, come. Tell me why you left Absalom. I insist.
The merchant groans theatrically. Very well, as you wish, your grace. It was about a woman. When I was still young, I fell in love with the daughter of a judge, an important person in Absalom. For many years I tried to win her heart, but she was cold as stone. I should have given up. But this is not in my character. In the end, I did manage to win her love, but I was unready for it. Hassuf swallows and rubs the back of his head. As Abadar is my witness, the flames of hell burn inside this woman. I could not live with her for even 6 months. Tenderness and passion one day, screaming and scandal the next. Sometimes she would break into my office during business meetings to make a jealous scene. He sometimes pulled me by my collar from the finest taverns in town. I couldn't sleep. I was nervous all the time, and it started to affect my business. I realized there was nothing else to do but run. Leaving her and remaining in the city would be impossible, even in such a city as Absalom. I decided never to return, and I still feel that wildcat of a woman will follow my trail. Asif stops, talking, and stares into space without blinking. Although sometimes after a couple of jars of wine, I still remember her. Perhaps it was I who unleashed the tornado in her. If somehow I'd behaved differently. Okay, bye. Horse. Actually, if I leave... I leave? Okay, so I can leave at any time.
Time becomes distance.
Dog.
Step, step, step!
A tense silence hangs over the house. Kayesi, your tiefling friend, emerges from the shadows, but her eyes are staring into the distance. She seems to look right past you. No, not now. The turmoil is suddenly over, but you see fear in Kayesi's eyes. Her blue eyes. It's you! I wanted to say, What just happened? That is surely not regular travel between planes. The girl closes her eyes and clenches her fists, obviously in the grip of a strong emotion, but one you cannot read. I knew it couldn't last forever. Why did he even make this rule? If he knew it would be impossible to keep. She takes a deep breath, opens her eyes, and speaks with firm resolve. Come what may, you should know that the person you know by the name of Kayesi does not exist. My real name is Kalike, and well, it's a long story, and such stories are better told beside a welcoming fire. Will you hear me out? Fine, let's go. The girl rests her head on her arm and stares off into the distance, lost in memory. Stories by the fire, in the desert where I was born, my fondest memory. When the day is done, hosts and guests, parents and children, friends and rivals, all gather by the fire under the stars to tell their tales. All they did, all they witnessed, all they heard from other travelers, and the whispers they carried by the desert wind. My sister and I often snuck in to hear these stories, hiding in the shadows just beyond the circle of light and warmth. We are hellspawn, you see. Tieflings are unwelcome guests in Qadira, unblessed by the light of merciful Sarenrae. We grew up sleeping in a common tent, scavenging food here and there like orphans, all but outcast and disowned. We were 13 when we left, and set off to find happiness in the cities. And everyone we left behind sighed with relief. My sister and I, we are twins, but as different as the sun and moon. Her name is Canera.
which means silent flame. She's fire. A cold fire, but one that burns without everything to ash. But one that turns everything to ash. I am a river. It brings me joy to give water to tired travelers and nurture green shoots. But when I flood, I am bound to bring death. The girl's eyes are full of sorrow. Despite our differences, we are one. Our lives belong to divine Nethys, and by his mercy we now live in turns. While one of us is here, the other sleeps in another plane, and when she wakes up, we switch places, just as you just witnessed. So this is why you didn't remember me when we were talking to Jamandi Aldori. How could I remember you? I'd never met you at the time. That was Canera. She was the one who talked to you at the reception and helped you fight off the assassins. We usually write each other notes, recounting in detail all that happened, and describing any friends that Kayesi had made. But that time we switched right now in the middle of a mansion engulfed in fire and filled with assassins, Canera didn't have the time to write any notes. And how is it you began to live in turns? Kalike lowers her head. This story, it's one I've never told to anyone before. No one in the whole world, and it's not easy to confide in a stranger. There's too much grief and guilt in it. If you don't mind, I'd rather not go into all the details. You see, my sister died, and I couldn't get over it. Canera was killed by a Soul Eater, a monster summoned by secret followers of Abaddon's archdemons. Those who summoned him died in the fight, but the beast was too strong for my sister, and I wasn't even there to protect her. Kaliki catches her breath. We just had a fight, and we both did some stupid things just before, but I don't want to talk about that now. When I found out what happened to my sister, I was ready to make a deal with any power, if only I could just get her back. And I found such a power. I was contacted by Arcano Thegan, whatever. The herald of the god Nethys himself. She promised she would return Canera to life, but on two conditions. First, we must both keep the arrangement a secret. Second, we would never be able to meet again. And so our new life began. Now we flee through the world, guarding our secrets, always introducing ourselves as Kayesi, to hide that there are two of us. And we switch places with each other at random. While one lives, the other sleeps in a demiplane, one created specially for us. And you can't control these switches? No, we can't. They happen at random, most often while we're sleeping, but sometimes in broad daylight. That's why we can never stay in one place for long. When someone witnesses us switch, we usually tell them tales of a special magical way of traveling, but people start noticing strange things and begin to figure things out. Truth be told, I'm so tired of having to pretend. We knew this couldn't last forever, and now the truth is finally out. What's the point in all this? You revealed your secret to me. It means you broke one of the rules set by the deity's herald. Yes. Will you make me regret this? I felt you might be someone who could help my sister and me change our fates. Well, what can I do to help? That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. Canera was supposed to tell you of an ancient treasury that we've been looking for. Gold isn't the only thing of value in this place. It may contain an ancient relic taken by the Taldan raiders from a respected Kadirim temple of Nethys.
It's an unusual relic called the Disk of the Eclipse. I once heard a beautiful story that it was created from the shadow that hides the sun and moon. But I don't think that could be the truth. Nethys is the god of magic, who was once a mortal wizard, and relics from his temples are usually very powerful. There are many among his followers who think that solving the mysteries of magic, even rivaling their deity, is the best way to serve him. One such follower created the disc, long ago in the distant past. According to legend, it gives its owners control over planar travel, but only pairs of wizards bound by unbreakable ties could use it. While one of them traveled the planes, the other was his anchor in our world, and they could switch between. Do you see now why we so desperately wish to find the disc? It might help us understand how the switch between me and Khaenri'ah works. And it should make our divine patron happy. Nethys and his assistants value the desire to understand the mysteries of magic above all else. And how did the disc come to be in the Stolen Lands? It was brought here by Taldans from the Fifth Army of Exploration. Taldo and Khaenri'ah were enemies for ages. Thousands of years ago, a soldier broke into the Temple of Nethys and stole the relic to sell it. Our secret hoard. It is an heirloom. Hundreds of years later, his own kin, or the kin of its 100th buyer, brought the disc to these strange lands, where the Taldans had come, uninvited as usual, and which they finally vanished from with little trace. Sometimes history is an intricate lace. You'd never guess where it begins and where it ends. Well, tell me about the location of the treasury. It was called Sorrowflow in the chronicle we read. It was once a Taldan town founded by the veterans of the Fifth Army of Exploration. It stood on the shores of a turbulent river, and that was what destroyed it. One night, a terrible flood devastated the settlement, killing many and driving the rest to flee. Only the tower and the cliff remained, which was too high for the flood to reach. Water covered the ruins for a long time, but last year it receded. My friends found a chronicle which recounted the destruction of the city, and spoke of the Disk of the Eclipse which was kept there. They managed to track down the ruins, but were frightened away by the monsters and beasts that roamed the area. If this can help, then I agree. Kelikei's sad eyes get a little warmer. Thank you. I will wait for you there at Sorrowflow, and please, let's explore the ruins together, just the two of us. I don't want to give myself away again in front of your companions. Breaking the Arcanothene, I don't know how to pronounce that word, Arcanothane's conditions once was enough. I have no wish to anger our god so long. Okay, whatever, just separate sentences. Fuck. So I guess I can get side quests that way, by just walking around, talking to people.
Won't let you down.
Are you guys only saying the same nonsense? Yeah. Do I need Kayesi for my house? She's not on the list, so I'm going to assume not. So this side quest that she put me on isn't necessarily required. But I do want to explore a bit more. There's still quite a few people that I have not found and I don't know how to find. So I need to figure that out. Checking this to see if it gives me anything, but it's not. I also need to sell the high-end stuff that I have, but I don't know if the merchant here would give me fair price on it. See, it's 2:12 a.m. I may actually stop here and do some more research on the things that I need to do. A couple new locations. Those are for the side quests. That one has always been there, but I can now go there for the Talden Ruins. Oh, that shows the areas I explored and stuff that I own. Still need to explore the rest of this area, but I think we're good. So I'm gonna go ahead and save here. I want to create a new save if I can, just in case I have to reload and choose other things for what I just did. I'm going to keep playing this in between streams, but for now I'm going to go ahead and stop here for the night. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time, I guess. Hopefully with working audio equipment, and I can do a live stream for my birthday. Late birthday. Okay, bye.